When you think of a venue, do you think of a car or a location of a concert? Because Hyundai has now made it into a brand new small crossover car, the Venue. Ladies and gentlemen, in this buddy review, well, first I need a buddy.
Hey guys, how's it going? In this buddy review, we are taking a look at this zesty little hedgehog and learning about what makes it tick and why it's so cool.
Yep, in this video we are going to take it for a ride, do a 0 to 60, find out how quiet or loud it is, find out if it can find snarfs, and at the end of the review we're going to let you know whether you should buy it, lease it, rent it, or forget it. Do you guys love cars? Well, we've got a new podcast that will keep you entertained for hours, from on-road to off-road, from Corvette to Jeeps. Check out tflcar.com/podcast or go to wherever you get your podcast, including iTunes, Google Podcast, or Spotify. All right, Tommy, why don't you give them a walk around and show them this brand new vehicle that is teeny tiny but big on the inside.
Yeah, that's right. The Venue is a small package. It's a front-wheel drive only Hyundai. All-wheel drive is not available, which seems like a disappointment, but Hyundai says that front-wheel drive will get most Venue buyers where they need to go. I'm not so sure about that. Here in Colorado, it would be great to have all-wheel drive, but take a look at the style. I absolutely love the way they designed this little guy. Take the headlights, for example. You've got these dual separated headlights, much like its bigger brother, the Kona here. Nice large grille in the front that projects the Hyundai badge prominently. This one is the SCL trim, which means we have a set of upgraded 17-inch wheels wrapped in Nexen all-season tires. A little bit of cladding around the side, because what crossover nowadays wouldn't be completed without cladding? And then the rear end is my favorite part. I love all these angles going on back here. You've got these tail lights with these angled in patterns that project the turn signal as well as the brake lights. A huge trunk for the size of the car with, get that? Yep, space saver spare tire, cargo shelf, and then I like these little guys. Look, they even included some diamond plating here on the rear splitter just to be a little bit more rugged.
Tommy, you know, small cars are about roominess or the lack thereof, so why don't you sit down and see how you fit?
It's not too bad. It really isn't too bad at all. This is my driving position at 6 feet 1 inch tall. I've got pretty decent headroom. For such a small car, I'm really impressed with how much packaging they've been able to squeeze in here in terms of overall space, and the rear seats are pretty comfortable as well. I mean, you got a lot of black plastics, but keep in mind this is an entry-level crossover, so don't expect too many high-quality materials, especially for the rear seat. Let's take a look at the engine.
Now, Tommy, you were talking about these dual headlights, and of course, this is a unique design that has become very popular because really the main headlights are down here, and these are the running lights. You'll see it in the Kona, you'll see it in the original Jeep Cherokee,
yeah. And
what other vehicle do we first see it in?
Yeah, the Aztec, but we don't need to talk about that. We do need to talk about the engine. 1.6 liter four-cylinder, not a hugely powerful engine, 121 horsepower, 113 pound-feet of torque. This one is equipped with a CVT automatic transmission, but a 6-speed manual is available on the base trim if you so desire.
You know, when this car first came out, I thought it was a little bit stodgy. You know, I wasn't that impressed with kind of this upright grille and just the entire packaging of the car, but now that we've had it a week at the office, it's actually really grown on me, and I think the word hedgehog is a really good way to describe it. So shall we get behind the wheel and take it for a ride?
Absolutely. Let's see what's going on inside.
So Tommy, before we take this bad boy for a ride, you're, what you call it, angry, a fuzzy, a furry little hedgehog? What'd you call it?
Zesty little hedgehog.
Oh, zesty, okay. What's the price?
This one is pretty much fully loaded, $23,405. However, these start about $17,000. So this is a fully equipped high-end one.
All right, and how about fuel economy? What kind of numbers are we looking at?
30 city, 34 highway, 32 combined. However, in our mixed driving, we've been averaging closer to 34. So MPG is fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, you know, a CVT will do that. It won't make it exciting to drive, but it'll make it certainly fuel efficient. So let's talk about the interior design, and I'll take it for a drive, and we can do our 0 to 60 test. I like the interior design, Tommy.
Oh, it's really well thought out. You know, some of you are going to hate me for saying this, but I really do think that this car shares a lot in common with the original Austin Mini. because it's affordable, it's really well packaged, it's surprisingly stylish, and it's great to drive. And part of that is the interior design. I like how clustered it is. So you've got your cluster here for your infotainment, your cluster down here for your climate control. You've got these pretty cool little trimmed out vents along the side. Just such a spunky interior design, and it all works. It works really well.
You know, it reminds me more of the original Honda Fit, the first generation, than of any British car. And that's because it's just packaged really well, right? It's kind of that, Goldilocks of vehicles. It's not too big, it's not too small, but it's just right for how small it really is, and that's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, but I think the Mini was packaged pretty well, don't you?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that was revolutionary. This is more evolutionary. Now, we do have different drive modes, so I will put it in sport for our acceleration run. And keep in mind that we are at a mile above sea level, which is going to slow us down, and there are 3 people in this car, but this is our typical merging onto the highway, and we'll find out how fast it is, or quick it is, from 0 to 60. What do you think the number will be? Will be under 10 seconds, Tommy?
I'm going to say 11.3.
11.3. I'm going to guess, I'm going to go, I'm going to go 12.5.
Oh, that's pessimistic, Dad.
All right, here we go.
Hang on. Let me make sure we got our timer reset. Okay, go for it.
All right, forward in sport mode. Come on, venue. A lot of noise.
Here we go.
Here we go.
8, 9. Come on, 11. Oh,
No.
you were closer. You were closer. 12.24. Now, not a particularly quick time, 0 to 60. Keep in mind, we're not going for the best possible 0 to 60 times with these videos, right? We're going for real world 0 to 60 times. Merging onto a highway, you're not going to have some skinny string bean dude like me who weighs 30 pounds and no gas in the car. You're going to have your family, and it's not going to be ideal conditions. So for 12 seconds, not too bad.
All right, let's see what the noise level is, and keep in mind anything under like 65 is really good.
Wow, that's really good. Hovering about 62 decibels.
Yeah, I mean, cars, if there's one thing that we've noticed is that over the last 10 years, vehicles have gotten much more quiet. But when you're accelerating, this thing is pretty loud, and it's not loud in a good way, right? I mean, it feels...
It's buzzy.
Yeah, it feels like that little hedgehog is working really hard. All right, well, are you hungry, Tommy?
I am. I could really go for a Snarf's sandwich.
All right, I'm going to hit the button, and you try doing the navigation, because I'm never successful. You ready?
Mm-hmm. Navigate to Snarf's sandwiches. Oh, you know what? It's hooked up to my phone.
You hooked it up to your phone.
Yep.
Well, that's no good, dude.
Yep. I'm using the Bluetooth connectivity. Okay, I just turned it off. Let's give it another.
Another whack.
Another whirl.
Another whirl. Okay.
Yep.
Another whack at the hedgehog. Here we go.
This feature is available when you connect a phone, Android Auto, or an iPhone supporting Siri. Okay, so there you go. So we have to have a phone connected.
Yeah. So we did not find our way to Snarf's, and we are not testing Siri because we know how that works, so it's really not worth actually showing Siri doing her thing.
This screen, awesome. Really easy to use. Big buttons. It's got a tune knob. Imagine that, a tune knob. Love it. I mean, this is probably one of the best systems in the business. You can record your Sirius satellite radio. There's your navigation system. Fully loaded vehicle, this venue, so we got all the connectivity. It all works well. And take a look at this down here. Automatic climate control. This looks like a dial that should turn. It doesn't. That's just your screen that shows you your current temperature. But once again, a lot of features in this vehicle for 23 grand.
Including, look at that, heated seats, Tommy.
Yeah, heated seats. This one even has the sunroof package, so you got a pretty decent sized sunroof. I mean, guys, come on. For an entry-level vehicle, this has got almost everything you'd expect in a fairly well-equipped mid-size sedan or even entry-level luxury vehicle.
Let's see how the ride is. We're coming up on a very rough road here. Let's see how much our hula girl dances. I'm hitting the bumps on purpose. Here we go. Oh, that's a big one.
Oh, that wasn't too bad.
No, oh, that's really good. I'm going to give that, with 1 being no dancing and 10 being she's dancing so much she's going to hula her brains out. I'm going to give that a 2, dude. She's doing really well.
Yeah, 2. It's a soft ride. It's not a sporty ride, but it is a soft ride.
Yeah, so let's talk competition. It kind of fits in between different classes, right? So it's not really
Well, the issue is that it's tiny. It's
Yeah.
really small. So Nissan Kicks would be a pretty direct competitor.
Yep.
Toyota CHR would be a pretty direct competitor. The issue is though, is once you start looking at, HRV with all-wheel drive, Renegade with all-wheel drive, then you're starting to compete with like the Kona,
Okay.
which is a little bigger than this. So this is a tiny little package. But I can tell you right off the bat, this is way better than the Nissan Kicks.
Really? Why is that?
The interior is better. It's more fun to drive. The CVT is less drony. It's better package. This is just it's just a better car than the Kicks.
Yeah, and I said, Honda Fit, but really this is more of a crossover, and the Honda Fit to this day is more of a hatchback.
Yeah.
So it doesn't directly compete. Now, I had a chance to talk with the lead designer for Hyundai recently in our podcast.
Yep.
And if you want to listen to our podcast, do a little ad here, check out TFL Talking Cars, and you can hear my interview with the designer that helped design some of this. But he said that, Hyundai feels kind of like they're the underdog, right?
Right.
So they always feel like they have to deliver more for less. And I can really see that in this car, right? I mean, the heated seats, the drive modes, the lane keep, which is, something that much more expensive cars have, the automatic climate control, the pages here that actually give you a lot of useful information. There's just a lot of premium features in this vehicle that you would think you wouldn't get for a car costing less than $20,000. Even this one's a little bit more.
The other thing that I love about the Venue is, compared to like the CHR, which is also front-wheel drive only, there's so much more visibility in the Venue. So the CHR, you're kind of like really hunkered down in it. The windows are very high up. This car, it really does, in my mind, feel like a Mini, because it's very vertical, but huge windows, great visibility. I mean, I know I sound like a fanboy. Hyundai is not paying us for this review. I didn't like this car very much when I drove it in Florida. It doesn't make a very wowing first impression because it's not that quick. It's not that exciting to drive. But once you live with it for 3, 4, 5 days, you quickly learn that as an all-around package, they knocked it out of the park with the little Venue.
Yeah, and so the question is, should you buy it, lease it, rent it, or forget it? So let's park the car and give them our verdict, Tommy. So in my mind, Tommy, the Venue is one of those cars that initially you're kind of like, it's kind of stodgy, it's kind of mundane, but then once you get behind the wheel, you start to kind of fall in love with it.
Absolutely. For me, it's a buy it all day long. I've driven some very cool crossovers this year, but this affordable little Hyundai is the most fun I've had, I think, in any of them.
All right, let's see how well you know me. What do you think I'm going to give it?
Well, I know you like your leather and your heated steering wheel and your massaging butt, so I'm going to say forget it.
No, gosh, no. So on the TFL scale, Tommy, of buy it, lease it, rent it, or forget it, I'm going to have to give it a lease it. And the reason is because it's got that CVT. It's just...
Well, get the manual one. There's a 6-speed one.
All right, well, with the 6-speed, buy it. With the CVT, lease it, unless you love droney CVTs.
Okay, guys, well, tell me how much I'm wrong in the comment section below and how much Hyundai paid me, which I promise you is zero. And head over to tflcar.com for the latest and greatest
in news, views, and of course, Talking Cars podcast reviews.
Hey, we plugged it already, Dad.
I know. I'm proud of that podcast. All right, see you guys next time. Ciao.